right, it's that time again. This is number 4. I'm going to move closer to you, Mike.
Okay, come on over.
Mike McRae.
Dale Dudley, ladies and gentlemen.
Turning your mic way up. My wife said last one, you were too low. I'm sorry I gave you those cheap Audio Technica, and I have this expensive Rode, but I have another Rode in the shop.
That's fine. That's fine.
I got a Rode condenser mic that you're going to be able to use. So It's all good. We got our first sponsor today, too.
Oh, yeah?
This room is echoey as hell, isn't it? We did one here, though.
Yeah, but it sounds fine.
Yeah, I can take the echo out. I get the overly. What I've got to set up now. If you're seeing video, then it worked. I'll just say that much. If you're watching it on YouTube, it worked. Because it's going to be a 2 or 3 day long edit for me to get all this put together. I just want to see if I could do it. So I've got my iPhone and then that camera we tried to use last time that cut out every 15 minutes. So anyway, welcome.
This time.
Huh?
We'll see what it does this time.
Yeah, you know. My wife says, why do you get so nervous on these? I think it's because I'm setting up the equipment and I'm not sitting around thinking about what I want to talk about, you know?
You're doing everything. I'm not doing shit.
Yeah, a little bit. But we have a guest, though, today. So,
we do.
Yeah. I don't think we should spoil it right now. I don't know if I'm going to put it on.
It's going to be a real fun surprise, I think.
It is. It is going to be. And by the way, we're drinking. I'm drinking. You're not drinking.
I've got Waterloo right now.
Well, thank you. Because I have a part of Waterloo. And I would love for it to sell again.
Okay.
I'm telling you
I'll
right
switch
now.
to Waterloo.
Oh, that's what I need to start with. Listen, folks, I love doing the podcast. I don't understand why I'm not on the radio. I actually called into Bob Cole's show a couple of days ago, and I was just texting him something about the subject they were talking about. So he told me to call in, and it went really well. And I heard myself, and I go, Jesus, why am I out of work? But then you look, it's Deb out of work now, and Jason's out of work now, and then you go back to the afternoon dude that was on 101X. Toby is out of the business now, so I guess I'm, this is what it is. They don't go backwards, I guess. They used to. In the old days, I would have been swept up right away, but that's okay. And we got our first sponsor. I mentioned that, and when I catch my breath, I'm going to try to do the live spot without any copy whatsoever.
Ooh, oh,
but it's somebody who's been with me at least for a very, very long time. And they were the first to step up and say, hey, if you do a podcast, let us know.
Okay.
Because we want to be part of it. Let's do it now. You get a clock, you get a timer here. It just started at 60. Breaks to go, everybody.
Yeah.
Jonathan at Breaks to Go. I literally got off the phone with him for 5 minutes. He said, you don't need copy. You know the service, which is while you're working or doing something that's important to you, you're not sitting in a shop somewhere reading Hunter Fisher magazine or whatever, or watching some version of Oprah that's up on the TV. They come to you, grab the keys, do what's necessary. They bring everything with them that goes with your car. For example, they bring, the rotors, tires, all that stuff. They don't bring tires, but they bring, rotors and all that stuff if they need to. And they'll tell you, they'll bring you out and show you the brakes and show you what you need. I'm telling you right now, if you're grinding, you're going to have to probably have rotors. That's what's going on. But Breaks to Go is great. Just go to their website, Breaks to Go at breakstogo.com. I think there's a breakstogo.net, but give them a call, make an appointment, and we've used them dozens of times. It's a great service, and thank you, Jonathan at Breaks to Go. There you go. First sponsor. Oh, and tell Jonathan when you use Breaks to Go where you heard it, because our ratings are down, Mike.
We have ratings already?
Yeah. Well, we went crazy on the first one.
Okay.
4,000 over on on all, Spotify and all that, and then another I can't remember, 2,000, 3,000, something like that on YouTube. And I'd ask you please to go to the YouTube channel, even if this doesn't show up there, which is highly likely that it doesn't, considering my technical prowess, but go there and subscribe, because to get any kind of monetary thing going, you got to have 1,000 subscribers. I think you have to have 2,000 listening hours. So listen to it, then reboot it, and log in and reboot it.
Yeah, you don't have to be in the room. Just keep it rolling.
But please like it. Like it and follow me on YouTube. And that would go a long way. But if you use Breaks to Go, please let Jonathan know that he did hear it. I think it's a different kind of audience. It's a captive audience that wants to come hear you, which is amazing to me, Yeah. Instead of you hope you catch somebody on the way to work that needs it. It's a client that, okay, enough about that. There's your plug, Jonathan. Oh, you're 4 more or something like that. So what have you been doing between the last time and now?
I was, as far as, I had my kid for a long time, and then my mother came and visited and stayed.
Yeah, that's what she was hearing. You're not close enough to the microphone.
Oh, that's what, okay.
So she just heard the echo.
That's my fault. That's not the
do you like it when your mom comes?
Yeah.
Sorry.
I do, yeah. I mean, it's kind of close quarters, but we have a nice time, and she's always there for some sort of, usually because my kid's doing something. That's this time.
You got a good mom?
Yeah, I have a good mom.
Well, some of us didn't get a great mom. Love my mom. She was a very sweet lady.
Yeah.
And then she started drinking and became a not so sweet lady. And then she became a sweet lady again after she was sober for 30 years or so till she died.
Well, that's a pretty good run.
Yeah. I was getting along with her really, really well. Speaking of the show, I was this roadcaster that somebody gave me out of the kindness of their heart, a radio guy. Said, you need to be on the air. And he sent me this thing. It's great. But it's got the sound effects like we used to have at the radio station. But here's the problem. I have heard, a little bird told me that the minute I left, they deleted everything I've ever done. All gone.
You mean as for...
I had somebody get a couple of my broadcasts out, but I had a radio station in all places in Chicago that was interested. Somebody who works there was going to get me, into this, to the managers and stuff. And I have no tape really of just me because every morning I built that thing to be a play.
Wait, you mean the radio station deleted all previous
I'm
shows?
not saying they did. I don't know if they did. I know that I signed away my rights to everything.
Okay.
So, but still though,
So there's no Dudley and Bob archive anymore anywhere?
I don't think so. No.
Holy
all that great stuff with Charlie, all the great stuff with everybody,
It's like when they got the first 10 years of the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson are gone.
Yeah. I ran across Stern the other day and I was thinking how he saved everything and kept ownership of everything. So if he wanted to, this is not talking about me working there. They constantly undersold that show. They should have put it on an HD channel, reruns. You could have run reruns that people wanted to hear. Classic stuff for 20-something years. And you could have run that on an HD channel, but they chose not to. But
aren't there compilations on YouTube or something? I feel like I've seen
compilations of us?
Yeah.
Yeah. They'll pull it down if it's got me on it.
Oh.
Yeah. If it's on their channel, they'll pull it down. Now that's just something somebody told me who probably was there. But I always go back to what Bob said, and I haven't heard from Bob, maybe someday. It's not show friends, it's show business. And boy, they told me that. Listen to me, we're talking about it for the 4th podcast. I brought that up because I was playing with this Rode caster, and
it's still relevant.
It's still got hotkeys. It's got hotkeys on it, right? But the goofy ones. But if I can go over here, if I know what I'm doing, I can go over here. Is that it? Yeah. And I go to bank 2. So I just put in star.mp3. Do you remember DOS commands? You remember when you needed to find something on a PC? You just put in
vaguely, yeah.
Just put in an asterisk and then the follow-up, which would be MP3. And just goofy stuff came up, and I thought it'd be fun for you and I to go through it.
Okay.
And let you hear it. Now, it's rerun stuff for some of the people, but I desperately was trying. That's another thing is I had loaded over 1,000 sound effects into this machine. I swear the machine only held like 356K. We bought it in the mid-90s. It's called, I can't remember. No, I know Jason and Deb had the same machine, and it was so outdated. To try to update it, you needed a floppy disk.
Oh, no.
But that was another thing. As I got home, I go, God, I spent a lot of times just directly recording those off of a television. That's why this shit blows me away. We're going to have a special guest call in a minute, and the phone, the iPad we're going to use today, it Bluetooths in to the board right here. Stuff you used to have to beg engineers about. But I ran across some of them. I don't even know where I put them on bank 2. Let's see what these are. I'll explain them. And I'm sorry if some of this is repeat for people. You know what? Fuck it. Of course, feeling more creative was no. Okay, this is great. This is a longer version. I decided to. I got hired to voice over a book on Audible.
Oh, and you hated that experience, right?
I think I'd rather have COVID again.
Wow, that bad.
Just exhausting, man. Exhausting because then you learn the software. Adobe Audition, which is pretty amazing.
Did you do it by yourself, or did you go to a studio?
I did everything by myself. And I didn't have a studio. I didn't have any soundproofing up. I hung blankets around just around a stool, and I had a little mini iPad reader. But the problem was, once you start working in something like Adobe Audition, I should stop slouching too. I may get on the floor for this. This is where I played video games. It's all collapsed from when I was giant. But you get in and there's a heat map even. So right now when we're talking, first of all, the first thing I will do is take out that echo. Now you may still hear an echo at home, but it's amazing the stuff that you can do now. And, but it got to where I could hear little clicks and pops that your mouth makes.
Yeah.
It's a little, and it'll be where you're talking, and you go in with a lasso tool. You look at this heat map and you literally can put it around this one little spot and it disappears.
Oh, wow.
Right. I mean, you're on top of what you're saying. You're on the file. You can see what you're saying, but this allows you to go in and microscopic. So think about a book that is however many pages long, 400 pages.
So you don't submit
pages.
you don't record and then submit to a sound engineer who does all that. You do all that yourself?
No, I did once.
Right.
No, a lot. The big books. This guy had sold some, he had done really well in some science fiction, and he liked what I had. And so he had me do the whole thing, and the pay was not worth it. I still get checks once in a while from Audible. They'll do a direct deposit for $3 or something like that. And the fact that it's just like, it was like his other book did great. This one was a cool little story. It was a story about zombies, but not your run of the mill zombies. Somebody had come up with a way to do CPR on, people who've been at bombings and things like that, and hook up a machine to them that kept them alive again for another 60 seconds. They don't know it. Nobody tells them. They say, you're going to be okay, but we need you to tell this information. That was basic. And of course, everything goes awry. So anyway, I became nuts about the stuttering, which I have naturally, and all these other things. But this is me getting frustrated with the book and trying to do, I think it had 7 or 8 characters in the whole thing, including a woman. It's hard for a dude to do a woman in period. We should just leave that. It's hard for a dude to do a woman. Yeah.
Of course, feeling more creative was no guarantee of useful productivity.
Jesus Christ.
There's another one. I have the fatality. Hold on. Let me see that. No. That's Daniel and Carissa laughing. And I left you high and dry during the last podcast that I told you that I'd heard from Daniel, and then my brain, which is what it does, switches to something else. And I never did tell anybody about it. Daniel obviously was put me down as a reference for a job. And these people called, and they were really exciting. And there is a giant medical conundrum. What do you call it? Not a conundrum. What do you call that?
Consortium?
Consortium. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I know you well enough.
But he and they were really interested in him doing the podcast. So I gave him a glowing review, and then I texted him. Look, it's been 2.5, 3 years almost since they fired him out from under us, and he knew where everything was. Like, he was allegedly, I asked him to keep a hard disk drive of every show, and they didn't come to me and say, "Hey, we're going to fire Daniel." And I said that the first thing I said to him, he's got the fucking keys to the kingdom.
Yeah.
He's got everything. He knows where everything is. And plus was the funniest thing on our show. Anyway, I texted him and said, "Hey man, congratulations." And he said, "Hey, thanks a lot. Really appreciate it." And then doctor friend of ours is wanting to do a podcast, has been in touch with him too. And he's been saying no hard feelings because he could work with me and all that, which is unlike many of the other people saying, but they can't. Let me see if I can find that one.
Then you can have a fatality.
Yeah, this is it. I mean, it was just, you're so exhausted. I cried at the end of it. I burst into tears when I got to the very end of it. Because, 1 hour of narration was about 3 or 4 hours of editing if you were going to make it perfect. And dude, I've listened to books from Audible, and they have this rule. When you send it in, it better be ready because we won't let you change it. I've listened to some audiobooks on Audible where the guy literally stops in the middle and throws his script around, and he's talking to somebody else, and they didn't take the time to edit it all out. You'll download some of the more lesser known books on Audible, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Wow. So anyway, this is, I'm just exhausted here.
Fatality. Then you can have a fatality. Then you can have a fatality. Then you can have a fatality. Fatality. God damn it. I'm doing the sound. It's over. But if you get a subject hit in the head or in the but if you get a subject hit in the head, or if the broken ribs poke a hole in the lungs or an artery, then you can have a fatality. Come on, Leo. Fatality.
I know you
can
get
have a fatality.
Hold on a second.
Then you can have a God damn it. Fatality is the character.
I understand is doing voiceover. It's like you start tripping over one word and your brain doesn't know how to say it anymore.
Yeah.
Then you can have a fatality.
Oh,
then
it's
you
more.
can have a fatality.
Still not getting it. It's that thing where a word suddenly. Have you ever looked at words suddenly that are in the English language and go,
I don't know how to say that.
That's or that's just odd.
Yeah, that's weird.
Why is it spelled ULRM or something? You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And you've seen the word 1,000 times. It's the same thing with records. I was talking to Bob Cole the other day on the air, and we were talking about how you go your entire career playing all these songs 1,000 times, and you have no fucking idea what they're about. One of the first songs I ever played on the radio at KTBB in Tyler, Texas, and I loved it. I still love it to this day, is What a Fool Believes by
Yeah.
Because it's got Michael McDonald on it.
Sure.
Every song that was a hit from about 80 to 85, you had to have Michael McDonald from the Doobie Brothers. He was like, "Here comes somewhere back in." I never knew what it was about, so I had to look it up. Do you know what it's about?
What a Fool Believes?
Yeah.
It's about what a fool believes.
Yeah, but in what case?
I don't know. I've never listened.
It's about a dude like me, or used to be me, where you think you have a shot with a woman and you're hanging out at all the right places and all the right things, and she won't give you the time of day. And everybody's looking at you going, dude, so who's going to tell him? He's being an idiot. That's what it's about. But then the other one was, and this has kind of come up here with my wife and I, but so Lionel Richie's coming to town, and they were playing Still, I Love You, Still. And all his songs are about, but have you ever listened to Sail On?
Sail On by who?
By the Commodores. Sail on down the line about a half a mile or so, and I don't really want to. I've listened to that my entire life thinking it's a love song. It's a go fuck yourself song that some guy's singing to a woman. It's basically saying, I knew I wasn't your cup of tea. I was wishful thinking. Kind of a country boy sort of thing.
Well, you don't expect these kind of sentiments coming from this sort of easy listening yacht rock stuff.
Right. Because Lionel Richie he's either dancing on the ceiling or he was romancing somebody. But no, it was I played that. And I know it's to some of you. I remember we had not a stalker, but we had a listener who was way too involved, took things too seriously, who couldn't believe that I was playing a Rush song and I didn't know what it was about. Here's the way you're a fan in radio. You go, wow, I really like Rush. Well, what you like is 4 songs. That's
all you're allowed to play.
That's all you're allowed to play. It's all you ever hear. I never could get into Red Barchetta, or I may not be saying that right. Is it about a car?
Yeah.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. YYZ is the airport code.
I think so.
Yeah, from where those guys were. There's a bunch of them, but yeah, we didn't know everything. We just went as we would. But thinking of some other ones too.
It's not your job to know what the song's about.
Yeah, but you would think if you're sitting now, we quit playing music in '93, so everything stops with Pearl Jam and with me, and maybe a little Fred Durst. I don't know, but now you can go your whole life and not know what the hell you're singing.
Of course not.
Have you listened to Conway Twitty? Have you listened to any of those pervert songs?
I don't know anything about.
Oh, fucking A, dude. That was so much fun, and we would do it about once every year and a half or so. We'd have to go in the Conway Twitty wormhole. He's got one big bouffant hairdo, and I'm thinking of, who am I thinking of? The piano player. Jerry Lee Lewis married his 14-year-old cousin. I think she was 13, actually.
Yeah, I think so. She was 13.
So that was acceptable, and there's one from Conway Twitty, and here's the line. He goes, "And I can tell you've never been this far before as I touch you." And I don't know the words to it.
Oh, no.
We can't really do those on the podcast. It's a mixed up world in podcasts. You can't play any music of anyone's.
I know, right?
Yeah, YouTube has a thing that goes through and checks everything, make sure you're not under copyright. So let's see what else I came up with here. I enjoyed that period of time with Chewy so much. This was Chewy's favorite thing to do, to play. And this is from like 1988 or 89, where I wasn't paying my student loans or credit card. My credit was shot, and I got 100 of these different versions. But
Dale Dudley, extend the courtesy of returning my call collect. I'm in San Antonio. This is John Reed, 342-4911.
we should call him right now.
Is he still there collecting?
I don't think John Reed is with us
Just get
anymore.
back to him. Like, I'm sorry I missed your call.
Call collect. Call collect. So let's see what else we got.
And let you know.
Oh, this is so good. I'm gonna come back to that.
No wonder your
That's just filler. That's no wonder.
no wonder your behind is bleeding.
I literally was just trying to find what I could basically salvage.
Right.
That I probably will never need again, because it doesn't look like I'm going to be kicking anybody's ass.
Hello, this is Louis Johnson. How are you?
How you do?
Okay. You got your choice here. What was this one?
Oh, I sure.
You want to hear the most perverted thing we didn't do it. It was the most perverted reaction we got from anybody. I'm just going to do both of them.
You want to do both? Let's just
Well,
do
yeah.
both.
What are we doing here? We're not.
What do we know?
I don't even know when we started. Does this thing give us a clock?
I had seen one on there.
Yeah, I think it does over here. Yeah, we're
there we
21 minutes and 34 seconds in. So early internet, really early internet. And we had a see you, see me camera. I don't think that had anything to do with this. But we put up a message somewhere. I'm having trouble remembering, with Deborah Cole, and somehow guys could reply to her. I don't remember what it was. It was one of the early dating sites or something like that. We're talking 94.
Oh, wow. Okay.
95, something like that. And we set it up, and we gave it, we had a thing called the loser line, and we would tell women to give this phone number out if they had a bad date.
Oh, okay.
If they didn't want to go with the guys. And that was part of this, I think, but I don't really remember. It's just the creepiest guy you've ever heard.
Oh, no.
And he's seen pictures now of what he thinks was Deborah. And he's just leaving a message like we all would leave.
Certainly enjoy looking at your lovely pictures. Gosh, you have the most wonderful hair, so soft and pretty, and the most lovely little smile. I love the way your lips are shaped. They look so...
Question: is he masturbating at that moment?
Oh, man.
I would be.
I'm about to.
I would be.
full and so...
That's another thing this little thing does that's so good. If you played something on the air at the station, you couldn't stop it. You couldn't stop it and comment on it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. This is an improvement then.
Yeah, it's some company came in, did radio broadcast software, and I remember going to the initiation for it, whatever, the indoctrination, and the guy was just rude. He didn't care about our questions. He goes, "No, it doesn't pause. No, you can't pause sound effects." He's like really excited to see us.
Sweet. I bet they like licking on things from time to time, don't they?
Yep, he's
Like
beating up.
to lick on something good.
We edited for radio.
Good and tasty.
Oh, man.
I can imagine that.
I can't listen to this.
I could see that.
I'm taking my
What?
glasses.
What is it he says he could? What do you think he's talking about there? He says, "I could see that." That sucks.
Wrapping themselves around.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, he's beaten off big time.
Oh,
I-
God.
And seeing your smile. I bet you look
Are you really taking your headphones
I
off?
can't listen to this.
Why?
something you'd like to see.
Is it because you've done this before?
No, it's because it's fucking gross.
Did you see I went to the trouble of buying you a beautiful bottle of whiskey?
Should I feel guilty? Would it be remiss of me not to have some then?
No. You're not a big drinker. I've been so busy, I've only got this one. You're going to have to watch me stumble over and refill it because I'm going to. Let's hear if the perv guy's done.
And see your nip.
I might need some of that whiskey now.
Well, anyhow, that's what I'm thinking about when I'm looking at your pictures, okay?
I don't know if we ever played this
I
version.
hope you like it. All right? Have a good evening. Talk to you later.
And I know the one, like it had been gone for years, and the one time we played it, we got women that were really angry with us because they said it triggered them, and I can totally understand.
I kind of think so.
In
Like,
'93, I didn't give a shit, but
now I'm like, oh, this is what women deal with.
see what this one is.
Hello, Johnson. This is Dale Dudley at KDOK.
Okay, you're gonna love this one. This is my second job. KDOK top 40 in Tyler, Texas, one of the most racist cities in the country.
Yes.
In my opinion. I grew up there. I grew up in a racist family, right? I will say at the time, I think I'm 18 or 19 years old here, and I'm scared to death that I'm going to be talking to these guys. Number one, because I love their music. Strawberry Letter 23, which was a great song. And then here I'm going to talk about Stomp. So these are the brothers Johnson, who, from what I understand, didn't speak with each other anymore when they passed away. That's sad. And I know nothing. First of all, I know nothing about interviewing, and I don't know anything about the brothers Johnson. I asked them, well, you'll hear it. But the nerd factor on this is 100 at one point. When I talked to the second brother, take a listen.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, man, just over here getting ready to funk and have some fun and play music.
I hear you. Well, welcome to Tyler.
Huh?
Welcome to Tyler.
Oh, thank you. God bless you.
How's the weather? You like the weather around here?
Everything's beautiful, man. I feel good. I'm rested, and I'm ready to play. I see people at the door now, man. It's getting crowded, you know?
Yeah, I can understand that.
It'll be great, man.
Now, I should have broken in there and said, great, glad you're having a good time. Don't leave the arena. That's what I should have said.
Where are you guys from?
You got to come down.
I'm going to be there in about 20 minutes. Where are you guys from?
Huh? Well, we're from Los Angeles. We were born and raised in Los Angeles.
Yeah, I understand you played Dallas last night. How the Texas audience has been treating you guys?
Oh, man, it was phenomenal.
Oh, I can understand that. Well, listen, let's talk a little about your latest hit, Stomp. It's doing real well here. And
Yeah, I can hear you.
I hear it's doing pretty good nationally. You can hear me?
Yes, that record's doing great all over, across everything.
Yeah, it really sounds great. Well, after tonight's show at Harvey Hall, what's ahead for the Brothers Johnson?
Oh, wait, there's a lot of people talking. I can't hear you.
Oh, okay, I can understand that. After tonight's show at Harvey, what's ahead?
That's the most nervous tick I've ever had. Yeah, I can understand that. I totally understand that.
Ahead for you guys? Any TV or anything like that?
Well, we don't have any other promotion planned after the show. We're just going to be leaving right after the show.
Yeah. Well, listen,
another good idea.
Yeah,
for
let me talk to you. Is it George?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, listen,
Okay,
get
here he
ready.
is. Hold on.
Get ready, my friend.
Hello.
Hey, George, what's going on? You guys ready to get down tonight a little bit?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Well, listen, do you know what's ahead for the Brothers Johnson after tonight? Are y'all going to take a rest or go on?
We have an extended tour that won't be finished until late part of May.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I thank you guys for the call, and I'll see y'all in about 20 minutes. Y'all have a great time out there at Harvey Hall tonight.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Take care.
Just got word Harvey Hall's been demolished.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, found out my
That doesn't sound like you at all. Like, it doesn't even sound like, oh, that's a younger version of Dale. That's
It
just like
doesn't?
a different guy.
That's right. You did an impersonation of me that drove me bananas. Mushmouth. Oh, yeah. Oh,
I'm not going to do it on here.
Yeah, you can do it here.
It's just
You
you.
can do it here. You and I are working this thing.
If there was an audience, I'd do it.
Get my daughter in here.
No. I'm out of practice. I haven't done it in a while.
Almost sound like the guy from Silence of the Lambs. Oh, was she?
No.
So there you go. There's some of the. I don't know what that is. Oh, it's Walking in the Woods is what that was. Switching gears, we need to call our guest pretty quickly here, but I got to rave about a movie. I didn't notice it at first, but I really now notice these things that come to my brain, and they would go into the area that, I got to talk about that on the show.
Uh-huh.
And now they hit a brick wall and they just go splat, and I go, I don't have anywhere to tell that funny story except here. And hopefully we're going to do more and more of these, and maybe do a live one here and there. But I went and saw a movie that I knew I was going to hate, and I wanted to hate it so bad. And then I left, and it's one of the funniest fucking things I've ever seen in my life.
What?
Cocaine Bear.
Oh, I would expect to like that.
I'd have thought they can't pull this off, but they did.
They did?
Jesus, man. Oh my God. It's so fucking.
My son wants to see Cocaine Bear.
It's so gross.
Oh, is it
graphic,
gross?
Extremely graphic.
Oh,
but not in a way where you're going to get up and scream. You're just going to cringe and go, But now I'm afraid you won't take your son. You should take your son. It's a good lesson not to do cocaine.
He's 11.
Now, see, if I had a cocaine bear,
or be a bear,
there's two kinds of reaction to cocaine. One, you stay up and talk to people you can't figure out later why you ever even wanted to talk to that person. And the other one is porn is on and you get your pants off and you're beaten off right then. And that's what my beer would have been. He would have been beat off bear.
Bear.
This
Beat
bear,
off bear.
this bear just goes around snorting keys of coke. And,
That's from Conan. That's already a gag.
what was
The
what?
masturbating bear.
Didn't know it. Sorry, haven't watched Conan. Sorry.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah. All right, let's call our guest.
Yeah.
Let's see if this works. Before that, I'm going to mix a drink. Cover me.
Okay. As far as make sure you don't fall over.
Yeah. Or spill. There we go.
Okay.
That's the vodka. You know what? I'll do it while we're first talking to this person. And let's see. I'm going to use an
This person
iPad.
who no longer drinks.
That's right. Well, now you gave it away. This person who no longer drinks. I'm going to try to. You guys aren't going to be able to see her because I tried to run it through the television and it just fucking didn't work. And I don't want to deal with that today. So I'm going to go. I FaceTimed her earlier today. And here we go. Where is it? Right there. She's expecting us. We should be able to hear it. FaceTime.
There it is.
You and I will. Oh, wow. You got all dressed up.
I didn't. I just took a shower. It was very,
Wow.
like the first time in like a week.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to show you the cameras. Ladies and gentlemen, Carissa McAtee. Not McAtee anymore, right?
Well, I never changed my name.
You never changed your name?
No.
I was going to, we were talking about this new machine I have to do podcasts, Carissa. And I swear to God, I was going to try to put Guitar Man in there for you today, but I didn't because they would take it down if it had copyrighted stuff in it. So what's going on with you?
Oh man, I haven't slept in over 24 hours. That's one thing.
You have 2 kids now, right?
Yeah.
And
1 and 2.
And we always said you would be the worst mother ever in the world, didn't we?
Yeah, you might be right.
No, I'm here to apologize. I hear you're a great mom. I hear it's going well. Everybody says you're super happy. Look at her smiling and laughing. She never did that when we were abusing her. Look at that camera freaking out. Can't find us. Did you see it move over there?
Mm-hmm.
So how's the jewelry business?
It's good. It's still keeping us going somehow. I don't know. Miraculously, we've been able to make it work.
So you guys going to get down tonight? It's a callback.
No.
It's a callback to something we were playing earlier.
Oh, I was saying, no, actually, I've got like 3 more weeks before I can do anything.
Well, one thing I want to do seriously is I've realized after, what did you think whenever I got unresigned? Not resigned. When they fired me.
Oh, I honestly,
you said finally. You said finally, didn't you?
No. No, I didn't know what was going on. Everything seems crazy since I left. So I mean, I don't know. And then my first thought was like, what? And then my second thought was like, you know what? Maybe this is what you need because I feel like it was just a shitty place sometimes, you know?
You said it. I didn't say it, but you're absolutely right. Absolutely right. After they fired Daniel, and Matt Bearden said it the best when he was still speaking with me. He said, it was like when they moved us to afternoons, they broke up the Beatles, which is true because the timing on that show was amazing.
Yeah.
And I want to apologize for any time I ever actually hurt your feelings. Now that I realize I'm so hard to work with, I got to call.
I don't remember.
I got to call and tell you the whole story off the air. You got to hear everything. Okay. Yeah, I'll take you to lunch or something. But you left because you guys wanted to start a family, correct? Or was it?
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to do jewelry full time.
Right. And are you doing it now?
Yeah.
You have your own shop?
No, not brick and mortar, but this is all we do. It's my husband and I do it full time. My dad helps us now. My mother-in-law helps us. So we kind of got a little family business.
Oh.
We're now like farming too. We cut flowers and we've been.
Well, we didn't get to experience you with your mother during the Trump years. How's she doing?
No, she's the same. She's cray. I mean, I love her, but she's cray.
Like, give me an example.
Oh, okay. Well, yesterday I have to kind of just go along because I don't know. And and sometimes I start, so me, pretty. I'm very easily manipulated. So, I ended up watching the whole Tucker Carlson, fiasco this week and had to really try to make a decision whether or not January 6th actually happened or not. My mom like actually got in my brain, and for a minute I was like, well, maybe, I don't know.
Carissa.
I know.
Carissa.
I know.
That's like taking 8mm film of the Kennedy assassination and just cutting to flowers when the car shows up around when it makes that turn into Dealey Plaza. No, nothing happened. There's 41.
Like yesterday, I was like complaining because I was so tired, and I'm like, man, I'm feeling it. I'm just feeling, and I think I'm still, I had surgery like not even a month ago, and so I'm still recovering. And like in the afternoons, it hits me really hard. And I was telling my mom, like every day at like 4, it hits me. And I was trying to say it was, I think it's my surgery. And she's like, yep, that's what the vaccine does.
Oh my God. I've been vaccinated 3 times, and look what it did to me. Nervous breakdown on the air. You look great.
See, that's what the vaccine does, Dal. You should have known.
You
didn't
look
have
great.
that vaccine, you'd still have your job probably.
Something about women who've had babies, they become more gorgeouser.
Oh, well, I don't know about that, but I'm definitely more tired.
Well, let's be honest, though, because, you would be great on the air, and you'd share your feelings on and off. And you and I both have struggled with the big D. And by that, I mean dick. No, I mean depression. You put on a smile a lot, but had you have any tough times with having 2 kids?
Absolutely. Today, I had like probably the biggest breakdown. Like, look at my eyes. That's why I put on makeup. It's because I had the biggest breakdown since I've had a baby, I think, today. I don't know if it's hormones from my hysterectomy but my husband had a fall last night. He like tripped and fell. He was holding Elliot. And like, I can't hold the babies. And he fell, and he ended up going to the emergency room last night at 2 a.m. and was there until all night. So now neither of us, he broke a rib. So now neither of us can hold our babies. And I don't know if like we can do markets and stuff. So it's been like, and that's the thing about owning a business is like, I don't know, do we have money coming in? Who knows? Like like I said, we've somehow made it work for this long, but at the same time, we're always.
Yeah. Being unemployed right now and not having a gig and, the stock market, it's doing what it's doing, but the housing market is cooled. By the way, Did I mention it at the top? You can call me. It's right there. You can go to daledudley.com, or you can go to just email me, daledudley@realtyaustin.com. Somebody
Are you
out there.
sponsoring your own show now?
Fuck yeah. I mean, I did that when it was crazy, when the market was crazy. I couldn't stop the calls from coming in, and did really well. But no, we got a great team behind us. My wife's my boss now, so great team to take care of. But some of you out there are going to have to sell a house or buy a house, and I've got a gigantic big team at Realty Austin. So I'm telling you this right now because I'm desperate to get back in the black when it comes to money. Didn't realize how much we spend. What is it? What'd you say?
I feel you, man.
Yeah. Well, what else? What else can you tell us? Have you been? Did you ever miss the show, or was it a good break?
I miss it. I always miss it. I still do sometimes. But at the same time, I think for me, it was like the smart thing for me mentally, But, I still have moments, like, I tell you, even a couple weeks ago, whenever I had I found out I had a tumor, and I kept hearing your voice in my head, like, because I was like,
It's not a tumor. Well, wait a minute. How'd the tumor turn out?
It's good. It's fine. It's gone. All my insides are gone now.
Was
benign.
it malignant? It was benign. Yeah, you ought to spice that story up a little bit when you tell it.
I know, but whenever I thought I was dying of cancer, I heard your voice being like, Carissa, what are the chances? And then because I had panic. I mean, I really thought for 6 weeks I was dying, and then at the same time I had a bad boob. Where they smush your boobs and they. All
right, yeah, we're good. A mammogram.
Mammogram, yeah. So I thought I was like dying of cancer on both ends of my body.
Right. For the listeners, for the watchers at home, I'm trying desperately to fix a alcoholic cocktail right in front of Carissa, who is recovering.
You want me to hold this?
Do you do any marijuana maintenance, by the way?
I did. I never did really, but whenever I had the tumor, I did because I thought maybe it would help with pain. I did it one day, and that was the last time I'll ever do it because I took a gummy and then I freaked out so massively that like I had to call my mom, and my mom had to come over and calm me down because I thought that I was going
to get Tucker Carlson on the line. You never ate the gummy. Just take it out of the film. You never ate it. I have the same thing. I was going to try to be a little high tonight, break. I got
really?
Yeah, but you know that there's some other people looking at what we're doing, and I don't want to, even though everybody's cool with the weed.
This can't be hedonistic.
Yeah, well, I just the people where we did our first podcast. I don't want to,
of course,
because we weren't even supposed to curse that night. But everything's fine, right?
Yeah, I'm good. I really am for the most part. I mean, I feel like I said, I'm depressed always. Sometimes.
I feel bad that I missed your wedding. I apologize for that. I don't remember.
That was 4 years ago. That was 4 years ago this week.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, this is a record for you.
I know.
Is he there with you tonight?
He's out there.
Oh, you don't have to grab him. He has a name. Tell us his name. I always. Whatever. Trevor. It sounded like whatever. Didn't it sound like whatever?
That's what I thought at first.
Well, I wish we could do it all again. That's the thing that really can get me sad. Is not that. Well, it's sad that I'm not talking to the boys. And I think that's just a matter of.
Why are you not? What the hell?
We have to talk off the air. Well, I know everybody knows I had a huge meltdown on the air. I'd just gotten out of the hospital and I was taking all these meds, and I took one that was for nighttime only. I still have it in my drawer. It says nighttime only. And I came in and I was on the board and I sounded drunk, which I wasn't. I was high as a kite on other drugs that were prescribed to me. And I was making a bunch of board mistakes and all the stuff that was going on in my personal life. And then knowing that my contract was up, it kind of just reached a boiling point when they came in. And Matt said, "You want to do this on the air or off the air?" I said, "I do everything on the air." Bad idea. I think that's what they said. Hey, we got to delete that show and just delete everything else of his that you have. Just they were delete it all.
Scorched earth.
Yeah, scorched earth.
But why haven't you talked to them? That doesn't make sense to me. I feel like
I hurt their feelings, and I hurt Matt's feelings, and I tried to have a drink with him. Look, I'm pretty sure they both knew at Christmas time because I tried to have a drink with Matt. And he said, "Sure, call me Sunday," and then Sunday went by, and I called, nothing happened. And Bob set on the 4th of 20, when did I get fired? The 21st, 21. It's 22 now, right? Yeah, 23 now. So on that January 24th of 22, yeah. I went in and suddenly Bob was returning things that I had borrowed. Like this camera that camera right there that we're shooting on. He had borrowed it, and suddenly he suddenly brought it back, and it was real quiet, and I said in my head, "Uh-oh, something's amiss." And
that makes me so sad.
And sure enough, in came Sinclair with Bruce and Scott, and I probably didn't, do anybody a favor by only shaking two people's hands. So, but I think I don't know, why Daniel didn't stop talking to us completely? We had nothing to do with it. Charlie didn't talk to us. We had nothing to do with these people being fired. They don't bring you in and say, "Hey, what about this?" At least this company didn't. It's just, we got to make some money. We got to cut people here. And I get it over COVID. And I get it with the guys too. I mean, they evidently, I didn't know it was that difficult to work with, but evidently so. And you just have to accept that and move on and try to be better. And they're still in my mind, they're like brothers.
I suspect over time this can be smoothed over.
But over the years I noticed that, and with Matt and everybody else, more Matt and he kind of taught me is you don't need to have these people in your life. They don't need me in their life. We're not working together anymore. So, and they were both, I got to cut them a break. They both sent me text messages when we killed Lily, our last dachshund. It's okay. We have a golden doodle now. It's a fucking monster.
She's something else.
She's a monster. Yeah. So I'd love to, in a perfect world, I'd love to have a reunion in a perfect world and do a podcast all together, but
You will. There's
that.
no way. There is no way in my heart of hearts that this is a feud that's going to go on.
Well, the last thing Matt said on a text message was let's podcast soon, and then they did. They did the podcast. It sold out, and the ratings they went to number 1. I mean, they went straight. You talk about dead weight. I weighed 270 then, and they lost 270 pounds. It was dragging them down. They shot. Let me ask you this, though. I worked that one day. I worked on the 4th, right? Did the whole show. And then they hit bonuses at the end of that quarter. Don't I get some bonuses? Do I get a bonus for that day? Maybe prorated.
Bonus.
But $50. Well, you look great. I feel like I've bogarted this interview.
You really do.
What else? Yeah, we should play that clip again. That guy.
No, don't do that to her.
What else do you want to say before we go? You're the only person. You're the only person that left the show that talks to me.
But that's the thing, and that's what I want to say is that I know, because I have been in so many conversations with them that I know how Matt and Bob both like had rationalized, like anytime that they ever had a disagreement with you, it always came down to like they understood you fundamentally at your brain,
right?
Like and why you did things, and never and so I don't feel that there would be like a hatred there.
Oh, I don't think there's a hatred. No, I don't think there's a hatred. I just, you don't want somebody who's screamed at you and said I got to tell you, I'll tell you off the air. Well, the last thing I said to Matt, and that was like, that's it. He said, I'll never work with you again. It was a good one. It was a good one. He didn't deserve it. But it was a good one.
But it felt good for a minute.
I called him somebody else's name.
Oh, I bet I can guess.
Yeah. Okay. Don't say it out loud. All right. Well, listen, we love you and thank you for doing this. And what?
Oh, I didn't even get to see Mike's face.
Oh,
hey, how are you? It's great to see you again.
He won't do any impressions.
Yeah, that's not what. Yeah, we're switching gears with this whole thing.
Yeah,
I like it. You get to be you. You get to be you for once.
I think he should do his. I think he should do his impersonation of me. That used to piss me off so much.
Why? Because you want to get pissed off?
I won't get pissed off. I've got a cocktail in me, and I'm going to run down and get a gummy. Yeah, you got to be careful with the gummies, girl. They'll sneak up on you.
I'll never do it again. I can't do it. Dale, you look really good, by the way.
Thank you. I lost. I think I put some back on, but I lost 50 pounds.
I put on 50 pounds, so I think I took it.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say anything.
I mean, I'm not eating disordered anymore, so I'm okay. I had 2 babies and a tumor. So.
Yeah, why so close together?
Because I'm 40 and I needed to hurry up.
You're 40? Really? Do you know how old that makes me feel? Because you were with us out of college, right?
Do you know that I have been sober for 10 years?
Wow.
I've been sober for 10 minutes. I just poured another one. All right, I love you. I'm going to hang up on you now.
I love you. Bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Join us again, Carissa McAtee, everybody. Love him my life. One of the best employees we ever had.
She really does look great. I'm serious.
She really did have a great sense of humor or a great
glow
patience. Yeah, they do. There's something about married women, something about pregnant women that look great.
Yeah.
Is that pervy to say?
No, it's not at all. No.
Is it not?
No, I felt that.
Because I do. I had some notes. What'd you think of the Chris Rock special?
I did watch it, and I said there were ups and downs, highs and lows. I mean, it's Chris Rock. He's just, he's a guy. We're used to his comedic vernacular, right? His rhythm and everything.
The banter, the set piece, if you will, of his brain. Yeah.
And then it was, there is sort of things like any kind of middle-aged guy coming out talking about triggered and sensitive or whatever.
Yeah.
But for me, it's like, it's not that I disagree, because like a lot of people roll their eyes like, oh, another middle-aged comedian talking about like cancel culture and all this stuff like that. And for me, it's like, I had that similar reaction, but for a different reason, because I'm like, yeah, because I just agree. It's just like, it's not that I think he's wrong. It's just, this isn't like comedic fodder anymore.
The woke thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. That word now is, they're making that into a bad word. The right is,
I think it's
because you're woke.
I think you can address these.
You know what that means? Basically, I'm sorry to interrupt you. You know what basically they're saying? Yeah, he's woke. Guess what? We still hate the blacks and the Mexicans. That's what we think.
Well, yeah,
it's a dog whistle.
Maybe
it's a racist dog whistle.
In some cases, yes, but not in every case.
No, not in every case, but in most of the things you see on television and most of the politicians.
Well, and right-wing media, something like that.
Yeah.
Like, if someone's saying like, oh, we're learning about, my kids are learning about slavery in school, and someone's like, oh, great, the woke agenda. Oh, okay, then you're just clearly racist or whatever, and you just don't.
That's it.
Yeah.
They don't want, you can't, and it's not only critical race theory. They're in Florida, they're banning going back in time in history and looking and saying that we were bad. And Texas has tried it too, to just pull out facts, just take facts away. What does it matter anymore?
Yeah.
And everybody thinks that, it couldn't happen to us. I mean, we have a constitution. There could never be a fascist leader. Absolutely could. It's getting more and more where they're making the way for the whole thing. There's something else I wanted to talk to you about, and I wrote it down. Cocaine Bear, Chris Rock. I don't know why I wrote down counseling, isolating. What the fuck? Oh, well.
You got it all stained with water. Did it hold the ink bleed? Is that what the problem is?
It looks like I cried about my career all over my notes. No. I know. Tracy Schultz.
What about Tracy Schultz? What did he do now?
He posted something today, just innocuous. And
he's woke.
I don't even, he's woke. and he is. But I don't even think he meant it in a bad way.
What did he do?
I don't know if it's permanent, but evidently they changed this Alamo downtown to Comedy Command Center or something crazy like that.
That's the new Joe Rogan Comedy Club.
Really the name
it's
of
the Comedy Mothership.
The Comedy Mothership, that's what it is.
Yeah, that's the Alamo Ritz is now the Joe Rogan Comedy Club.
Right. And so Tracy was criticizing that. And
everyone's in Austin supposed to think that's bad.
And there was this woman, and I looked to see who it was before. I was going to comment, and then I was just going to put at the end, are we still fighting? But for Tracy Schultz to have 90-something replies, So it was this one woman who was Joe Walsh's ex-girlfriend who wrote a book about her time with him.
Oh, and, she's been a guest on your show.
Yeah, she's a nice lady. Yeah, absolutely. That, yeah. I had my experiences with Joe Walsh.
Yeah,
I spent a few nights out with that guy. But anyway, I had been in the back of my mind, I still wanted to do the Tracy Schultz show, which would be an hour or two with him, because he was the worst. He was the most active show prepper. We had a thing called the show prep page. I don't know if the guys are using it anymore. I don't think so, but overnight people would put stories, so I wouldn't spend 4 hours looking for a show, and they would put things that they know we would talk about. Tracy never put anything that we would talk about on there, and it got to the point of annoyance, and then it got to the point of what do you call it? Where it's just become so ridiculous that I just started pointing
Absurdity.
It out. So I was bringing in his show prep that we would never talk about, and I had a Google document going before I skedaddled. I had a Google document going with all the stuff he had put up, and I don't think I can find it anymore. But I want to do it now on a podcast. I want to do the Tracy Schultz. So I'm going to go back and look and see some of the things he posted. Tracy worked at the radio station. He hates Deb O'Keefe with a purple passion, and I haven't said that. My mother used to say that, a purple fucking passion. I mean, he hates her. Hates Jim Jeffries. I'm just going backwards for a second. I think he's brilliant.
Yeah,
he's one of my favorite comics in the world. But no, Tracy would. I think we should have him in. I think we should do a show with him.
I think that'd be great,
and have him bring in all the material,
and he could explain why the Joe Rogan. Everyone thinks, for me to. Tracy's always like, okay, what would be a good boy thing to say, and right now it'd be like the Joe Rogan Comedy Club opening in Austin is just the worst thing that's ever happened. Comics are despondent about this.
It's a huge city now.
I know. And it's like, if you're like, I don't like Joe Rogan, I don't want any part of that vibe, that new scene, I'm not going to go to it. That's one thing. I'm not going to. But if you're like, oh, Austin's over, everything's done because this thing opened up.
I've known Joe Rogan I've known Joe Rogan for at least 25 years.
Yeah, me too.
But I haven't talked to him in 10.
Yeah.
And I will always defend the rights of people to say some shit if they want to say it, especially on their own podcast. So, eat a dick if you don't like it. Look at me. I'm all edgy now. But to say whatever they want. People aren't, I'm in the middle here. We've got this world where we think everyone should be on perfect behavior all the time. And, the last person that wrote a tweet about Joe Rogan probably went home and had a scat party.
Yeah,
You know,
I mean,
probably rub scat all over themselves if I may borrow from
exactly. People who like, yeah. Tracy might have done that. I'm kidding. He might hear this. I'm joking.
He's gonna hear this. I'm gonna put on there. He's already wrote me.
Joking.
He already wrote me and said, I know you're kind of joking around, but if you want, I'm available. Listen, man, he was nice. He's asked me out to lunch when I got canned, you know.
Oh yeah. No,
he's
not
a
nice
bad
guy.
He's a good guy.
Of course he's a good
lifetime,
guy.
lifetime bachelor.
He's very aggressively a good boy.
Yes.
Especially online.
Yeah.
And I make fun of him for that, and he knows it. And so I'm not saying anything that I wouldn't say if he was sitting right here.
Well, but I thought you two got into it over something a long time ago.
Oh,
didn't you?
yeah. I can't even remember what you're talking about, but yeah,
he will.
Would. I'll call him out. Yeah, he's a grudger. He'll remember.
He's a
but
grudger.
Yeah, I call him out when he's like doing this crap.
Yeah, well, he didn't. He just let it go, and the thread was this one woman was like, "That's been corrected," and she started putting up.
What was the thread under the thing? Like, why were there 90 replies to his thing?
Because somebody had called Joe Rogan out for misogynist and racist comments, and this woman was vehemently defending him, and she had that adrenaline flowing that we all get when we're online and we're pissed off at something. It just feels like gasoline running through your veins till you get it all out. I've been a good boy. I've been off Twitter now for 2 years. I have not tweeted. Nothing.
Very good boy.
God, not a thing. But boy, you read it sometimes. Well, all right then. Let's have a drink or two. What else you want to talk about? You ever do? Did you?
Wait, are we just getting started?
Yeah, let's get started. We can go a little longer. Are the cameras still recording? That one is. I don't know about that one over there.
As long as we don't have to start over.
You don't like to talk about your personal life. But did you ever do marriage counseling?
I'll talk about towards the end, I went to her therapist and she went to mine.
Oh, my first wife, when I found out that she wasn't, all in on me, we went to a therapist. This is 1990. We went to a therapist. And the therapist took her in first, and then she called me in, and this is what she said. She said, you need to pack all your things, even if it's in paper bags, and you need to leave today.
A marriage counselor said that to you?
Yeah. Luckily, we were, we lived in an apartment, and neither one of us owned anything. It was the easiest divorce ever. I think I paid $25 for the paperwork, and that was about it. But I don't know. It's just always so weird.
Wow.
It's like I get in there, and we've been going now for almost 2 years, and I get in there, and there's things I want to say that he's pretty much a referee. This Jim guy that we got, he's pretty much a referee, and everything's calm now. It's all good. But then there's things I get that I want to say, and I'm scared to say them because of the audience, But they allow you to. The only reason I'm bringing, I think yesterday when we had counseling, I think I lied all the way through it.
Oh no,
not because I was really down about a couple of things, and I don't know. Don't ask any more questions.
You can't lie in therapy, man. You're wasting money.
Concentrate. No shit. No, I don't think we are in the marriage thing. I think that I have wasted so much on.
No, I mean you're wasting money if you're lying.
Yeah. If you're not trying to get any help.
Yeah.
But no, I was. It's always weird too. You see other couples coming in and out, and I always wonder what the hell's going on with them. What's happening?
Oh, seeing another couple in there. That's gotta be weird.
Yeah, exactly. Is he the perpetrator? What's going on in there? All right. Well,
yeah, I haven't been to therapy in years.
Do you like doing this?
Doing what?
This podcast?
Yes.
Okay, just checking. One day. What was that? What is that I wrote right there? One day equals bows.
Bows or bows?
I have no fucking idea, dude. My brain is so shot that I lose track all the time. And so I said to myself, you've got to write notes down. And now I look at the notes and I have no idea what I wrote myself there.
Just make a note to make more detailed notes.
And I guess I said the studio. Oh, today this is the, this is my home, this is the Breaks to Go studio.
Oh, Breaks to Go. That's right.
For the next 4 podcasts.
You got break problems.
And we're right at an hour. And I thank you all so much for listening to these. And please share with your friends. And again, if you are seeing this on YouTube, like and subscribe. You'll be doing me a favor if you do that. And please tell people who don't know about Austin, don't know about KLBJ, and don't know about my run there. and all these great comics that I became friends with, who cherish very much. And now I'm going to end it. I mean it. I'm going to end it. We'll see you next time.
And the podcast?
No. I was making a joke about it. It's a suicide joke. Come on, man.
Oh, man. That's okay.
Cancel.
Wait till I leave.
Cancel.